Super Smash Bros. Switch is getting closer and closer by the day, and even though we know next to nothing about it, it's already pretty clear that there are some big changes on the way. The Inklings joining the cast, and Link's getting a Breath of the Wild makeover that could completely change the way that he plays. Now, we've already made moveset speculation videos for both of them, but there is a third character featured prominently in the reveal trailer that we haven't touched on yet. That's right, the plumber boy himself, Mario. And given the trend so far, we can't help but wonder if he might be due for some changes too. Especially because, while Link has kept up with the times in most of the Smash Bros. Games with new looks and updated moves to match his more recent appearances, Mario has remained relatively static, adding only the cape in Melee and Flood in Brawl. So we think now might just be the perfect time to switch him up a bit more. Because, let's face it, Mario's old hat. So let's give him a new one in the form of Cappy. After all, with Link being updated to his most recent appearance, wouldn't it make sense for Mario to be too? Bouncy nose physics and all? Now, while the Smash Bros. Trailer didn't technically tease anything of the sort, it didn't exactly not tease it either. Mario only appears in silhouette form, so who knows what he's hiding? And even though there's no sign of Cappy per se, there wouldn't need to be anyway, since Cappy's eyes are often hidden anyway. So there is absolutely a chance that he could be revealed later. But the main question is, how the heck would he work? Cappy is all about possessing other creatures and giving Mario full control of their faculties. And that kind of mechanic could very well break Smash Bros. Almost as much as Meta Knight. Almost. But I think we found a pretty good solution, because every character in Smash Bros. Already has a move that essentially immobilizes or takes control of their opponent. Yep, Cappy should be Mario's grab. Simply tap the grab button to throw Cappy at a distance similar to Link's hookshot, and if it hits anyone along the way, Mario would instantly be sucked into their body, immobilizing the opponent. But how does Mario attack someone during a grab if he's already inside them? Simple! He makes them punch themselves! Which is really going to suck for Captain Falcon. And once you're ready to actually throw the opponent, just press a direction on the control stick like usual to have Mario punch them in that direction as he exits their body. Otherwise, the usual grab rules apply, with captured players able to fight Mario's grasp by hammering on the buttons and control stick to eventually force him out. Also, even though Mario isn't technically on the battlefield, if a captured player gets attacked, it will break the possession, forcing Mario out of the body as he takes damage. But what happens if you use Cappy mid-air? Well, since you can't grab someone in the air in Smash Bros., it would instead work as an attack, just like Link's hookshot or Samus's grapple beam. However, because Mario isn't holding on to Cappy, it wouldn't be able to tether to a ledge. But it's for that exact reason that could still assist with Mario's recovery, by allowing him to bounce off of Cappy for additional distance, just like in Super Mario Odyssey. Adding Cappy as Mario's grab is a perfect way to freshen up Mario. It pays tribute to Super Mario Odyssey with a potentially game-breaking character without actually breaking the game. Plus, don't you really want to see what Bayonetta would look like with a stash? Okay, so we've freshened up Mario's grab, but what about the rest of his moves? Well, with how much Cappy already changes a game, we think Mario can slide by with minimal changes otherwise, with the rest of his moves largely remaining the same, at least functionally. I mean, sure, even though Mario's basic attacks haven't been used in a mainline Mario game since Super Mario 64, the punches and kicks really are a perfect fit for a fighting game, particularly since they pay tribute to Mario's 3D debut. But what about Mario's special attacks? Well, his neutral special, the Fireball, is iconic, useful, and perpetually relevant, so we think that can stay the same. Mario's side special, the Cape, however, is feeling a little bit more dated, seeing as it hasn't even reappeared in the mainline Mario game since its 1991 debut, unless you count Super Mario Maker, and technically the e-reader levels in Super Mario Advance 4. And no, Yoshi's Island isn't a mainline Mario game, damn it. Now granted, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's fun when a move pays tribute to a character's ancient history. But in this case, it's been paying tribute to an outdated ability for nearly 20 years across 3/4 of the Smash Bros. Franchise, and it could probably stand to be swapped out for something that's a little bit more relevant, while retaining the same basic function. Yep, we're talking about the raccoon suit. Sure, there was once a time where it was neglected just as much as the cape was, but it's had a major comeback in recent years, having reappeared in New Super Mario Bros. 2, as well as in Mario Kart 7, and the very similar Tanuki suit in Super Mario 3D Land. And it could serve the same fundamental purpose as the cape, allowing Mario to deflect attacks with a swing of his tail. Plus, Raccoon Mario is just way cuter than a boring cape anyway. And yes, I realize a Super Leaf item already exists in Super Smash Bros. 4, but that item technically works entirely differently. and for all we know, might not even be back for Super Smash Bros. On Nintendo Switch. Of course, my same outdated complaint could also apply to Mario's down special being FLUDD. But regardless of my personal feelings on FLUDD, it is a generation newer to Smash, and also serves a unique purpose that, for better or worse, I have nothing better to replace it with. Plus, Super Mario Sunshine probably does deserve a nod of some kind, even if it is in the form of an annoying talking Super Soaker.
I am FLUDD, a flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device. I hope to be of assistance.
Okay, so all of this brings us to Mario's final special attack, his recovery being the Super Jump Punch. And you know what? This one's mostly fine too. I mean, jumping is sort of Mario's thing, and the Super Jump Punch is pretty iconic in its own right at this point. But it's also remained entirely unchanged from the beginning in Smash Bros. 64. And since it is practically identical to both Luigi's and Dr. Mario's own recoveries, it doesn't quite stand out these days. And I think Mario deserves something better. And one way to freshen it up would be by referencing a more modern equivalent. The spin jump from Super Mario Galaxy, which would give Mario an aerial boost while damaging anyone who gets hit by it. Oh, and you better believe that Baby Luma would still pop out from underneath Mario's cap. Come on, Cappy plus Baby Luma? It can't get much better than that. Or can it? Because what about Mario's final smash? I always thought a massive fireball felt a little bit uninspired, especially for Smash Bros.' most well-known character. So let's bring it all back to what inspired this video in the first place. Cappy. And what's the biggest thing he could possess in Super Mario Odyssey?
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex.
Heck yeah, Mario should be able to run around as a T-Rex. Not only would it be a ton of fun, but it really would tie his entire moveset together in a way that makes Mario more modern and relevant than he's ever been before in Super Smash Bros. Oh, and moving beyond just moves, Odyssey's vast array of costumes are perfect fodder for Mario's ults in Super Smash Bros. Plus, Naked Shulk versus Naked Link versus Naked Mario absolutely needs to happen. And there you have it, our ideas for how Mario's moveset could be updated in Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. But what do you think? Let us know by posting in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you want even more, make sure to click that subscribe button for tons more in Super Smash Bros. Switch, and make sure to check out our moveset ideas for Breath of the Wild, Link, and Inkling as well. Catch you later, bye.